Carrie Anne Knauer, and welcome to Carrie's Kitchen. Today we've made 3 side dishes, all perfect for summer, but they're all lacking one common ingredient: mayonnaise. Mayonnaise tends to be pretty heavy, and you have to watch out for it spoiling on a hot summer day. So instead, I've made a potato salad that's got southwestern flair, a pasta salad with an Asian-style taste, and then coleslaw that's made from Granny Smith apples. Are you ready to cook? First, we're going to make the sesame and cilantro pasta salad. We're going to start by boiling the pasta. I recommend breaking it in half so that it's more manageable for when you take it to the fork. I put it into the boiling water, and now I'm going to give it a stir to break up all the strands. When it's finished, you go to strain it. I'm pretty lucky in that my pasta pot has a strainer built into the lid. It comes in really handy. Pour out the pasta so that it can begin to cool. You might even want to refrigerate it. Alright, next we're going to work on the peanuts. Measure out your peanuts first, then put them on a cutting board. And you want to chop them up. You don't have to worry about getting them too uniform. Just want to break them up into smaller pieces so that it'll be more spread throughout the entire salad. Pouring it into my finished product bowl. And then I'm going to start with the red pepper. Now don't worry about the size of this too much. You don't have to make it too small. You want it to be big enough that you'll be able to get the pieces onto a fork pretty easily. I'm measuring this and then I pour that into my final bowl. Next is the green onions. You want to cut off the bottoms and throw those away, and then you just slice them into thin little slivers. Next is the cilantro. I like to use my kitchen shears and then just trim away at it. I find it easier than a knife. You don't have to worry about it being too uniform. You just want to have that nice color and fresh flavor. Then we're going to make our dressing. Measure out the vegetable oil, and I'm going to pour it into my special salad dressing container so that I'll be able to give it a really good shake. The next ingredient is sesame oil, which it's a little expensive, but it's really great to use in stir fries too, so it's a good investment. Then a little bit of honey to give it some nice sweetness. Then we add our soy sauce. And then finally it's the dried red pepper flakes. Now I got to make sure that those are all thoroughly incorporated. I find that shaking works better than stirring, and it saves you some time and frustration, so I just get a container with a good lid that you can seal up, give it a good shake, and when it looks like it's incorporated, it probably is. I added the noodles, and now we're going to give it a good stir to try to get an even distribution of the red pepper and the cilantro and the peanuts. It's a little hard to stir spaghetti noodles. Then we're going to add our toasted sesame seeds. This is going to give a little extra crunch too. Alright, then we add our dressing. It's the last step. We give it a really good stirring from there. You might want to let this sit for a little while to let the dressing incorporate into the noodles better. And there we have it, our sesame and cilantro pasta salad. Next up is our southwestern potato salad. First step is boiling our potatoes. And I'm using red potatoes with the skin on. Let them boil. Next I'm going to move on to the corn. I'm going to cut the corn directly off of the cob. Use the freshest corn possible, and then I'm going to cook it up a little bit. Cut Cutting corn off the cob can be tricky, but just watch your fingers and keep spinning it. It's okay if you're not getting whole kernels at a time. Every little bit counts. My potatoes are done, so I'm going to give them a good drain. Okay, I'm going to start sauteing the corn so that it'll be a little bit softer. I don't want to saute it too much though, because you want to keep that really fresh flavor going. Then I'm going to cut up my celery while I let the potatoes cool. Then I'm going to cut the potatoes. In this case, I probably didn't let them cool long enough, but you can do whatever you want to do. Just makes it look a little sloppier and the skins are falling off. Adding everything to my finished product bowl. Now I'm going to cut up some red pepper. And then the red onion. Measuring it as I go. And then more fresh cilantro. And this is a can of black beans that I've already rinsed and drained. Gives it a cleaner taste if you wash it and drain it properly first. Give it a little time to dry as well. Now the chilies and adobo sauce. You can take those seeds out to make it less spicy, but sometimes I like to give it that little extra kick. And then the jalapenos. You can de-seed these and cut the ribs out as well, and that'll make those less spicy. Try to cut these into thin pieces because, as you know, they can pack a punch. Now we're going to make our dressing for this one, and I was really excited about this recipe because the primary ingredient for the dressing is the lime juice. And I'm going to squeeze some fresh limes for this. This is just a really simple juicer that I have. It really comes in handy for small tasks like this. Okay, I pour out my lime juice, and then I add a little bit of vegetable oil to it. Keep the potatoes from being too dry. So I'm grinding some fresh pepper on there. Now I'm grinding my sea salt. I'm going to put the lid on very tight, and again give it a good shake. Get the ingredients to mix together. Got to be careful opening the lid, or otherwise I'm always afraid that it's just going to spill all over the place. Okay, I pour the dressing on top, and then I give everything a really good stir to, again, get a good even distribution of ingredients. Look how colorful that is. And there we have it, our Southwestern potato salad. Our third and final recipe is the green apple slaw, and this is one that I've been making for years. First, you're going to cut up the apples. I'm going to put them through a food processor on the shred blade, so cutting them up I don't have to be too careful. I like leaving on the peel, it gives it a nice extra tartness. I'm working with the Granny Smith apples here. I'm just cutting them up so that they'll all fit into my food processor. Next I'm going to add the red onion. And while I'm slicing it here, I'm going to run that through the food processor too. I like to get the juices in there. Then a little green onion for a different flavor. These don't go so well through the food processor, so I'm just going to hand slice them. Food processor does most of the work for you in this recipe. Alright, time to make the dressing, and I'm going to use some fresh lemon juice here. This time I am going to measure it out. We're using 2 tablespoons of the lemon juice, some maple syrup, this is olive oil, and even a little bit of bourbon. It's going to give it a little bit of zing. Then I'm going to add some dried sage. This happens to be from my garden that I saved one year. Going to give it a good shake. And then I add it to my apples. This recipe only keeps for a couple of days. But there we have it, our beautiful green apple slaw. So here we go, 3 great summer side dishes, all without mayonnaise. That'll be a big hit at your next cookout. Hope you enjoy.